What is up, nerds? Welcome to my first playthrough of Trails in the Sky. First ever upload on this channel, and in general. So I hope you enjoy, and I'm sorry about mic quality. I did my best to get it to work as properly as possible, but it's a relatively cheap headset. Alright, let's just start a new game. I was thinking about playing hard for making it a little bit funny, but yeah, I might as well actually. I'll be trying not to talk too much during cutscenes, by the way. Daddy's really late. I even got a message from the guild saying he'd be home today, too. And Shara's gone traveling around the kingdom on some kind of training. I'm so bored. Maybe I'll just practice with my staff a bit before dinner. Hey, I'm home. Daddy! Sorry to have kept you waiting, Estelle. Did you take good care of the house while I was away? Of course I did. Did you run into any trouble, Daddy? You didn't get any hurt fighting the bad monsters, did you? Nope, I'm fit as a fiddle. That reminds me, though. I brought you a present. Really? What kind of present? A new fishing pole? Sneakers? Something for my training? Maybe I raised you wrong, Estelle. Aren't little girls supposed to like clothes and jewelry? I like pretty clothes, but they just get dirty. The jewelry breaks when you go play outside with it on. Anyway, Daddy, what's the big blanket? Is that my present? Oh, you're a sharp one. Now why don't you come have a look? What? Well, here you are. Quite a handsome boy, don't you think? What? Why is my present a boy? Don't make such a fuss, or you'll wake him up. Wake him up? You mean he's still alive? He was kind of dead if you ask me. I've treated his wounds, so he could be in a stable condition. In the meantime, however, you'll need to let him rest. I'll put him to bed, so if you wouldn't mind heating a kettle of water on the stove, I'd appreciate it. Okay. He sure sleeps soundly. He almost looks the same age as me. This is the first time I've ever seen him black hair like that, too. He certainly does have a nice head of dark hair. And a pair of amber eyes to go with it. That's nice and all, but how about you come clean and fess up? Fess up? Yeah, who is this kid anyway? Why is he hurt? Why did you bring him here to our house? Is he illegitimate child or something? Did you betray Mommy? Where have you been picking up these kinds of words? No doubt from Scheherazade, I assume. Yep, that's right. For heaven's sake, that girl is going to get me into trouble one of these days with all her nonsense. Actually, I just met this boy while I was out on business. And I don't even know his name. You mean bracer business? Something like that. Oh, look. Oh, he's waking up. Wow, his eyes really are the color of amber. Where am I? So you're awake now, are you? Welcome to my humble home. You'll be safe here, so please just try to rest. What are you trying to pull? Huh? You must be out of your mind. Why didn't you just leave me there to die? Why? Now that's a question I don't know how to answer. Does things just worked out that way work for you? Don't toy with me, Cassius Bright! Do you have any idea what you're getting yourself involved in? Hey! You're sure shouting for a lot of someone who's supposed to be hurt. Words. Running your mouth like that's just gonna make it longer for your body to heal. he's just... words. Just who are you supposed to be? I'm Estelle. Estelle Bright. She's my daughter. Don't you remember me telling you that I have a daughter your age? Now that you mention it... Wait a minute. Don't try and change the sub... Ow! Quit yelling! Alright already. But jumping on me like this is gonna make me feel faster any... Bleh, words. I don't hear you yelling again, do I? Look, jumping on me like that is just gonna make things worse. Do I hear yelling? Never mind, just forget it. As a word of advice, it'd be wise not to argue with Estelle while you're in this house. Even I wouldn't stand the chance if I made her mad enough. Yeah, I can see that. By the way, aren't you forgetting something? Huh? Your name. You know, the thing people call you. I told you mine already, so don't you think it would be unfair and impolite not to tell me yours? Seems logical thinking to do, if you ask me. Yeah, thinking to do, but... trying to hide it now would only serve to your detriment. Fine. My name is... Spooky no name. Legendary heroes, trails in the sky. Let's go! It's so bright in here. I slept like a rock. That must mean it's Dad's turn to cook this morning. I wonder if that means Joshua's still in bed. Huh, I guess that's a no. Well, I guess I better get myself ready then, too. Nice, Joshua. Bravo! Good morning, Estelle. I hope I didn't wake you. Nah, I was already up when I heard you start playing. I can't believe how awake you are, though. Even the roosters still have bags under their eyes. Not that I mind, what with the siren song of yours gently lulling this beautiful woman from her slumber. What do you mean, woman? We're the same age and I'm hardly a man. Disc, disc, disc. How wrong you are, Joshua. We may be the same age, but I am clearly the woman of the house. And that makes you something like my loyal follower, wouldn't you agree? Yeah, how fortunate for you. You could at least try and sound a teeny bit sincere. It really is a nice tune, though, cheerful yet somehow wistful. I like your other songs too, of course, but this one's my favorite. What was it called again? The Whereabouts of Light. That's right, The Whereabouts of Light. I wish you could play the harmonica like you, Joshua. Sadly, it's a lot harder than it looks. Compared to what it takes to use a staff, I think the harmonica is much easier. It's really just a matter of concentration. You're probably right. I guess my problem is just that if I don't do something that uses my whole body, I start to feel drowsy. Okay, playing the harmonica is fine and all, but how about getting some exercise too? All your hobby is sitting around kind of stuff like reading music. No girl's gonna be impressed with just that. Well, excuse me for being so unpopular with the ladies. Although, I feel like I should be the one lecturing you about your hobbies. About your hobbies. I mean, what kind of boy wants a girl who loves fishing, collecting bugs, and has a fetish for sports shoes? That's enough talks about hobbies for now. And for your information, I graduated from bug collecting a long time ago. Really? I didn't believe that when I stopped fighting beetles in the hallway. Hey Estelle, Joshua. Morning, Dad. Good morning, Dad. Is breakfast ready? It's ready and waiting. Why don't the both of you hurry on down before it gets cold? Okay. I'm on my way. Thanks for the grub, Dad. Boy, am I stuffed. Are you eating or inhaling, Estelle? Like people say, kids who eat and sleep a lot grow a lot. Well, make sure you get enough to eat. But don't forget to pour that energy into work, too. That reminds me, you two are finishing up your training at the guild today, aren't you? That's right. I'll be a review of everything we've learned up to this point. And once we're finished, we'll be bracers just like you, Dad. That means I'm not going to let you treat me like a kid anymore, either. You still lack understanding, Estelle. You can only become a junior bracer at the beginning, or in other words, a trainee. You want to be treated like a pro. You should work extra hard in your training to become a full-fledged bracer. Well, I'm not afraid of a little hard work. Just you watch and see what I'm capable of, Dad. I'll be so successful that it won't be long before I pass you too. That's the spirit. Let's see what you're made of then, shall we? Let's not start a rival here, you two. Estelle, keep your focus on the task at hand. We have a test later on today, remember? Huh? Wait, what test? Please tell me you didn't forget about the test, Estelle. You know, the one that checks whether or not we've mastered the skills we've been through learning and training. Don't you remember Cher saying if we failed, we'd be stuck with a ton of extra homework? Crap. Totally forgot. Now that you mention it, I guess I kind of remember saying something like that. Don't sweat it. I'm sure we'll manage somehow or another. I honestly don't know how you survive this long still. Your brain is like a seed. Papa is sad. How could any child of mine end up with such a careless, over-optimistic personality? Ha! You're one that raised me, so I definitely got it from you. I swear, the two of you act so much alike. Or whatever. We should probably head over to the guild soon, Estelle. Shara's gonna be waiting for us there. Sounds like a plan. You know how crazy scary... Words! You know how crazy scary she gets when someone keeps her waiting. Oh, before I forget, it's my cook... Clap, clap. It's my turn to cook dinner tonight. Is there anything in particular you'd like to eat, Dad? Any requests? Something I'd like to eat, huh? How about ruined star scalloped fish in balsamic vinegar sauce? What's that? I think it's a little more than the style of cooking can handle. Or our stomachs. You're right. I just wanted to see what kind of reaction I could get. I'll just have the usual fried fish and omelette. No need for anything fancy, but do try to make something edible. How rude! But I can't actually say so. Actually, I do have a favor to ask you before you head out. I'd like you to pick me up a copy of the Liberal News from the General Goods Store. It's supposed to be getting the latest edition in today. Got it. One copy of the Liberal News from the General Goods Store. Received 500 mil. If there's any money left over, you can have it as your allowance. However, that means no use for spending. Alright, thanks, Dad. Okay, we're heading out now. See you later, Dad. Work hard and give Scheherazade my regards. Alright. First things first. Gotta head over to the town, but, you know, that's just how it is. Just want to say that while this is my first time recording this, so it's gonna be somewhat awkward. I mean, as you can probably already tell by the many mistakes I've been reading. But, other than that, it should be going just fine. Now, this isn't my first time playing this game, though I haven't played it to completion, just past the first chapter. So I know a little bit of what's going on, but not completely. So, other than that, it's pretty much up until just after the first chapter is where I know mostly, but it's been a while since I've actually played, so I might have forgot a little bit. The City of Roland. Small children running around. That's dangerous. They could fall. Looks like we made good time. Not too early or too late either. Just barely graduated from Sunday school. I never dreamed we'd study so hard to become bracers. Well, you're in luck. Today's the last day of training. Truth be told, you're the one who signed up to be a bracer in the first place, so I don't know why you expect to get away with any less effort. Oh yeah, I guess I did. Alright then, let's get to it and make it through this last hazing from Shara. You look ready to meet. Let's go meet with Shara at the Brace Guild over there then. Now there's a few buildings in Roland that you could check. On your map, you see the green ones are shops, as you can tell by down here. Purple, Septian Church. Got lodgings at the blue, which is usually your inn or whatnot. Got your Bracer Guild in red. Orbital Factory, which we'll go over with. Well, the game we'll go over soon. In the orange, I guess you'd call it. In any other buildings that you see are just random mills you go into and talk to just some random citizens. Alright, first off, the Bracer Guild. There you two are. Good morning, Estelle. Good morning, Joshua. Morning, Ina. Good morning. Is Shara here already? Yes, she's waiting for you upstairs. Once you finish today's training, you'll finally be recognized as a member of the Bracer Guild. Good luck to the both of you. Thanks. We'll do our best. Now, you might notice the boards here. We'll deal with those later. First, we'll go upstairs to see Shara. The Star and the Hangman. hermit and the magician. And last of all, inversion to the wheel of fortune. Is it a difficult combination? How should I interpret this? Good morning, Sheriff. Well, if it isn't Estelle and Joshua. This is a rare occasion for the both of you to show up so early. This is my last day of training, I figured. Why not? Ready to get the show on the road and become a bracer myself. I'll give you credit for your enthusiasm. But I'm going to work you hard today in every way I can think of to make sure your high-spirited attitude of yours holds up. I hope you're ready. I can feel their enthusiasm dropping already. Quiet, you! Every time I teach you something, you somehow manage to forget it. This training is my way of trying to keep some of that information in your head instead of letting it dribble out your ears like it usually does. Why, Joshua, Sheriff's picking on me. Don't worry, Sheriff. While Estelle may hate studying and rarely ever does her homework, Max Rashley is overly naive, has a tendency to stick her nose into everything. Her instincts are sharp, so I'm sure she'll pick up on how to use an ornament with some practice, eventually. Probably. Guess there's not much I can do now except hope for the best. Hold on a second, Joshua. Somehow I get the feeling that you weren't standing up for me. Well, that's odd. I'm positive I described all your best traits accurately. Whatever. By the way, Shara, what are you trying to predict with your tarot cards? Your face was really intent. Oh, this? I was just trying to get a vague reading about what might happen in the future. Unfortunately, I don't seem to have the right mindset to interpret the cards correctly. You couldn't read the cards? Well, that's surprising to hear. Actually, the more profound... Actually, fucking words. Actually, the more profound the meaning of the cards, the more difficult they become to interpret. That's not important now. I think it's time we start your final training. I'll give you a brief rundown of all the information we've covered in your previous training. This is the minimal level of knowledge that bracers should have in order to function effectively. And Estelle, make sure you pay especially close attention to what I'm going to say. Yeah. Alright. First off, orbments. Orbments are mechanical devices which operate by using what is known as orbital energy. A variety of effects can be produced depending on your structure and type of quartz or process septium installed, although it's only been about 50 years since their invention. These devices play an integral role in all facets of life, from lights, heaters, and other everyday products to weapons, magic, and even airships. In connection, this technological reform is commonly known as the Orbital Revolution. So basically, your ornaments are your magic set. While everyone has different ornament sets they can have, which we'll go over when we head over to the orbital factories, but pretty much everyone can use the same things, as the quartz you put in, which is basically just whatever spells you want to choose, can be used by anyone. Alright, bracers. Bracers are investigative and combat specialists who work to protect civilians and maintain the stability of their respective regions. They aid the community in various ways, such as exterminating monsters, preventing crime, finding lost items, and escorting people and goods. The Bracer Guild, which has established branches across the continent, manages the affairs of the bracers in each region. Basically, just like any RPG, it's the Adventurer Guild. You know, you take on small quests, take on big quests, you fight monsters, you do fetch quests, that kind of stuff. Now, Little Burrow. The Kingdom of Little Burrow, which we live, sits in the western half of the Zemurian continent, and abounds with nature and deep-rooted traditions. The Burrow is proud to be one of the leading producers of septium on the continent, and is known for their high level of technology used to develop orbits. Farming technology is also a key pillar of support for the Burrow in protecting its independence as it's contended with neighboring ventures. 10 years ago, when the Burrow was invaded by the Erebonian Empire, it was the use of orbital-powered airships that saved the kingdom from defeat. Consequently, even now our relationship with the Empire is somewhat sensitive, but thanks to the Queen's political finesse, the Burrow enjoys peace. Now, this world, well, I should say the Zemurian continent, because I don't actually remember what the whole world's name. The Zemurian continent is where basically all this game takes place. So, look, we are in, as I said, the Kingdom of Liberl, which is in the southern part of the continent, right next to the, as I said, Erebonian Kingdom to the north, and to the, I think it's east, is the Calvardian Republic. Right now, no one's at war, as I said, but, you know, it's a game. Well, who knows what will happen. Let's see, since we got a mountain of stuff to do today, I'll let you off the hook this time with a condensed review. I'm going to speed things up now and move on to the practical portion of your training. Sheriff, how's today practical training any different from the training we've done before? Since it's practical, that means you'll be experiencing things firsthand. Therefore, I'm going to have the both of you run through everything as if it was a real bracer job. So what you're saying is, there won't be any studying at a desk involved? Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. This time you'll have to go out and make physical effort to accomplish your task. I'll make sure you have the work... I'll make sure you have to work up a sweat. To have you work up a sweat. And so I hope you're ready. Holy shit, cannot speak. Yes, that's seriously just what the doctor ordered. I didn't know what I was going to do if we had to spend another day with my trash parked at the desk. Words. I guess I got all worried for nothing. Well, suddenly you're all bright and cheerful still. Let's just hope that smile on your face lasts to the end of the day's training. Okay, let's get cracking on with your first objective, shall we? Let's have at it! Your first objective will be to confirm the details of the job you'll be performing. Before that, there's something that we need to give you both. Aina, are they ready? Yes, they are. Alright, you two, go get one piece for yourselves. Guess what we get? That's right. Very important. Bracer notebooks. The Bracer notebook serves as the official way to record the status of your current jobs. Also, anything you may hear or anything that you may find and wear. These kinds of trivia things can often become clues, no matter how insignificant something may seem. Always write it down. Understood. Crap, that sounds gonna be a pain. Honestly, I'm gonna stall on this one. The game doesn't... It can be difficult sometimes to understand what they're trying to get at, because they try to just hint at it through small conversations that you're talking to the people as, and just gives like small details that you could try to calculate things from. It can be somewhat difficult, so a lot of the times you can just run around in circles till you find the correct spot, but usually doesn't take too long, as the game itself isn't that big, so, you know. It can be annoying, but it shouldn't be that much of a problem for anyone who wants to play. Oh, please tell me it was my ears playing tricks on me, because I swear I only got one response. I'm sure there were two. Keeping an accurate account of events is an important duty for all bracers. So get with the program and stop trying to make this out to be more than it really is, Estelle. Okay, I got it. Make sure you do. Alright then, let's begin. Look over by the door. You can see that there's a bulletin board starting there. First, I want you to go and check the job description posted there. The bulletin board approached an exclamation point. Pressing the OK button will display the job list. By selecting the job names on the list, you can view their details. Alright, as I said before, these will come into play. This is where you get your quests. So every time you go to a Bracer Guild, you definitely want to check these boards, as they will have all the quests you want to do. This is the only one we can do right now, as it is our just training. As you see, the training will involve searching sewers beneath Roland and bringing back the contents of a chest. See Sherazard for details. Details on the job confirmed on the bulletin board or other important events will automatically be recorded in the Bracer Notebook. The Bracer Notebook can be easily found by clicking the Books tab of the Items menu. It can also be accessed by configuring a Bracer Book shortcut button on the configuration menu. I don't know how to do that, honestly, because I never bothered. Very good. It looks like you were able to see what you were posted without any trouble. Checking the bulletin board is one of the most basic functions for a bracer to perform their job. Checking regularly to see whether or not there are any urgent tasks which need immediate attention is also important duty for bracers. Basically what you're saying, the main quests will be identified differently than what side quests would be. In general states, you want to do the side quests first, as it give you XP and be able to continue on to the next mission, as once you finish the main quest, those quests will disappear. Man, all this talk about duty is starting to cramp my style. Sure, there are a lot of rules to follow, but there's an equal level of responsibility in the jobs themselves. I think being a bracer calls for much more than just someone with a half-hearted attitude. I guess you're right. I just have to be more motivated. Is that so? Like, look at this. What a typo. Is that so? Stupid. Had a change of heart, have you? You betcha. Well, before all that motivation sneaks off somewhere, let's get to work on your next task. What are we doing this time? We'll be heading across the street to Mr. Melder's Orbital Factory and learning about how to use its services. He graciously taken the time out of his work schedule to explain things, so make sure to be on your best behavior. Okay. Here we are at the Orbital Factory, and don't even have to walk. Here is where you'll learn how to use Orbital Factory services. At an Orbital Factory, you can modify your orbits and synchronize support quartz in order to use orbital arts. Arts are magic. Arts have a wide range of effects, and if mastered, can be extremely helpful. The bracer business is a pretty risky occupation, so the guild has a long-standing relationship with these orbital factories. Anyway, this is about as much as I can explain. I'll leave the technical details to the expert. So, Mr. Melders, if you wouldn't mind taking over from here?
No problem. Leave everything to me. So, what is it you would like to know?
Alright, we'll start with orbits.
Orbits are mechanical devices which exhibit an array of effects through the installation of various types of quartz,
as I stated before.
By definition, that means the lights, airship engines, and so on are also types of orbits.
Basically, anything that's technological in this game is an orbit.
However, the ones we will be discussing today are battle orbits, which are enhance the user's physical abilities and make it possible to use magic.
As I said, it's magic.
Since each orbit is adjusted to match the user's personal aptitude, the structures for the devices also differ for each owner.
As I also stated before, the structure is basically what, like, quartz you can put in certain areas, because sometimes there's only specific quartz you can put in slots because they are determined by their type. Other than that, it's usually just you choose whatever quartz you want.
Simply put, the shape of the fixed elemental slots and lines which connect them array vary.
What?
At any rate, is layman's explanation. In order to install quartz, you must first have an open slot. By default, the central slot is open, but the other slots must be open at an orbital factory like this. It'll take a fair amount of Sepith to do.
So, as we've heard Sepith say before, Sepith is basically what you pay for your orbits. If you want to open your slots, you pay Sepith. If you want to buy quartz, Sepith and Mira. And you can also give them Sepith for money, which is Mira. EP, which is needed for magic, will also see a max increase according to the number of open slots. I recommend opening them all as soon as possible. So each character has their own EP or energy points, as I believe is what they are. Is what you use to cast your orbital spells. And each character has a different level, but you also get more by opening more slots. I usually rush to open up all the slots right away because it's just easier that way.
So what is it you would like to know about?
Then you got arts. I pretty much already covered what we're doing.
Simply put, orbital arts are magic which can be discharged exclusively through the use of battle orbits. In other words, a number of peculiar effects can be produced by using the orbital energy stored within these mechanical devices. Since orbital arts can be a mouthful, they are almost universally referred to as arts. Probably ought to have been called that from the get-go. There are several types of arts, but in order to be able to use them, the corresponding quartz must first be synthesized at an orbital factory. Orbits are also set up at once that once a particular quartz is installed in a slot, you'll not be able to use those arts. The types of arts can use also changes depending on the elemental value and the combination of installed quartz. Basically, if you want to use water arts, all you have to do is install quartz with a 1 elemental value. In reality, orbits are much more complex than what I have described, but I think this information should suffice for now. So what does you like to know about?
Basically what he said is, quartz, whatever quartz you have put in determines what you can use as spells. They also can improve strength, improve agility, that kind of stuff. You get bonuses to basically everything. It's pretty much your equipment buffs.
while you also have your normal equipment, you have your ornaments will give you smaller buffs. Right, quartz. Quartz are circuits made from sepith. Quartz have a vast number of effects and raise the owner's abilities while simultaneously making it possible to use the arts. As I said, it raises stats. However, you will not be able to harness any of these effects until quartz has been installed into a slot. However, there are also fixed slots in which only a certain type of elemental quartz can be installed. As I said before, some types can only be set in slots that are that type. My bad, that was my phone. Probably should. I'll cut this part out. Right, so they can only be set in those certain areas, which can be kind of annoying, but you know, it's just how it is. This being the case, when you synthesize a new quartz, be sure to check your orbit and decide where you'll be installing it ahead of time. So what would you like to know about? Alright, sepith. Sepith are fragments of septium, which are dropped by monsters. They are divided into 7 types: earth, water, fire, wind, time, space, and mirage. Sepiths can be exchanged for mirror almost anywhere, but the Opal Factory can be used to synthesize quartz and open slots which install synthesized quartz. So what would you like to know about? That's all. Now for me, typically I don't ever synthesize new quartz, as I do not need to. You pretty much can get all the quartz you want just from fighting boss monsters and fighting the chests. And that's usually how I build my stuff, not even worrying about, you know, where I get them. Looks like Mr. Oh, yeah, wrong voice. Looks like Mr. Melvins has answered all your questions. If there's nothing else then, let's have you both try and use the services here. For that, you're going to need some sepith. Receive several of each type of elemental sepith. With that amount, you should be able to synthesize a few quartz. But I want you to begin by first making elemental quartz that will work with each of your particular elements. In your case, if you can sell any elemental quartz, okay. For you, Joshua, it has to be a time elemental quartz. Normally at a shop, you would be able to exchange sepith for mirror, but for this training, we will not be you with use of service. About option the counter, the talk marker will appear. Pressing the OK button will display a list of options like modify or trade to use all the factory services. Alrighty. Oh, good luck so far. If you need to use the Opal Factory, give Freddy a holler. Ah, right. Get over and talk to this asshole. Right. It's like this. You select quartz. So you can choose any number of these, but you need to make... I suggest getting an attack for Estelle, but you need to make an action for Josh. Alright. And you go to the camp menu, equipment, ornaments, click quartz, put it on. That simple. And then with Josh, see, it says time quartz only there, so it has to be the time quartz. Now, specifically with it, action increases your speed, which tells you how much you can act during combat, which of course we haven't got into, but I'll explain more once we get there. An attack, obviously, just increases strength. Alright, looks like you were able to synthesize one. Next, I want you to increase the arts you can use. Now install quartz to your oven so you can use both recovery and attack arts. As I just described, then go into the orbit screens. I think I already recovery Alright. Okay. That's right, you have to make another quartz. Quartz! Which one? You have to make this one correct, I believe. You have to make HP, which is usually healing. Damn. Going to the menu. Yes, there we go. So, tier, as you saw, is basically the healing, so you got tier and then you can go up from there. We'll explain once you see more of them. Alright, looks like you've both got recovery and attack arts set up. If you balance your arts out between each other like you've done here, it should make dealing with monsters much easier. Additionally, your patient notebook contains information about which quartz allows you to use which arts. If you were really having trouble, you can always check your notebook if you don't understand, but pretty much if you hover over a quartz, it's gonna tell you what it is. If you'd like to use more powerful arts, check out the arts and quartz charts in your bracelet notebook and find something that works for you. Alright, our training here is almost finished. This last of all, I'm going to have you both open a new slot. There we go, that's what I wanted to say. That's what I was figuring. I always remembered opening a slot here, but I didn't remember when. I guess it was after that. The more slots you have available to you, the broader range of choices you have. Since EP, which is consumed by using arts, can have its max value increased by opening up slots, it would be a good idea to open them all early on. Now I want you to use the scepter and open a slot for each of your orders. As I said before, it is a good idea to open up all the slots because it's just, you have more range to just do what you want when you get more quartz as well. Go ahead and decide which slots you're going to open. Alright. I usually just open one on each. So for... You can open this one or you can open this one, but they're the same thing really, it doesn't matter. Okay, go back for Joshua. Same thing, they're both all quartz, it doesn't matter, but you can't actually do it because you can only open up one slot. Now, since you already bought that other quartz, you might as well just put that on Stell. Or Joshua, whichever one you chose to put it on. I usually put it on Stell because her EP is usually is going to be higher anyways, compared to Josh's. So you managed to open up one of your older slots, Stell. Since your central slot is not limited to a particular element, you're free to install any type of quartz you'd like. This concludes your training here at the Opal Factory. Now it's time to move on to what you've both been ready for, the qualification test. Pardon? Did you just say test? You can't honestly tell me that you forgot about the test. Again. Can you? Didn't I remind you this morning? Now that you mention it, I vaguely remember some sort of talk along those lines at breakfast table. Sometimes I fear the future of the Bracer Guild and humanity. Oh well, no sense in worrying about that now. Let's head over to the testing area. You mean like now? I don't know if I'm ready for it. How about a little less yapping and a little more walking? Dragged away. Joshua, help me! Mr. Malthus, Freddy, thank you for all your help. Don't mention it, and good luck with the test tubes. We'll be rooting for you. I'm going to remember that you left me high and dry like this, Joshua! All your training has finally come down to this. Your qualification tests will begin here. I expect you both lose what you've learned up to this point. Understood. What's wrong, Estelle? Sharon? What now? I was kind of wondering, but is it going to be a paper test or something? Did Cassius drop you on your head as a child or something? You just read what it said on the bulletin board not that long ago, right? Yeah? And? And I even made you jot down what you read in the Bracer notebooks, unless you forgot that too. I'm pretty sure the job listing mentioned searching for and retrieving an item from the sewers. Ring any bells yet? What a relief. Oh, divine Adios, I'll give thanks to thee for thy infinite grace in bestowing upon us such wonderful gifts as sewers. So, what you're really saying is that you thought it was a paper test. No wonder you were acting all crazy back at the old factory. Ah, I could already feel the nostalgia. All those horrible days stuck in the classroom are starting to feel like grand memories indeed. I'm starting to wonder if we'll ever be... Words. I'm starting to wonder if we'll even be able to graduate at all. What's wrong with you? Why do you have to go and say something like that when I'm trying to reminisce about positive things? Alright, that's enough jabbering, you two. It's supposed to be a test, so how about the both of you try and at least look a little anxious? Just so you know, though, if you do happen to flunk the test, you don't even want to imagine the kind of homework I have in store for the both of you. We'll be fine. Just tell us what you want us to do and let us loose. But if you're so confident, then how about proving that you're not just blowing hot air with the results of your test? Anyway, as you will saw on the bulletin board, this test will be searching Anyway, as you both saw on the bulletin board, this test will be conducted in rolled sewers. Your objective is to retrieve the contents of the chest which has been placed somewhere within that area. Layout of the sewer is extremely simple, so you don't even need to worry about getting lost either. However, there are real, living, breathing monsters down there, so if you get careless and let your guard down, you will be sorry. Also, let me give you this before I forget. Receive tear bombs. Items. They good. Very useful during combat. As this is an RPG type game, it can be kind of difficult to heal as it takes a couple turns. Well, turns I say yeah. It takes a little bit of time to heal with magic. So sometimes just having an item to just straight out heal is really the best option you have. The Monster Guide. This, as I'm pretty sure Shara explains, is just where you jot down every monster you see. What's this book for? It's called a Monster Guide, and it's used to record information about monsters and other opponents you meet. Like I said, it's just a combat recorder. It tells you what you fight, what they're weak to, that kind of stuff, how much health. When you figure out an enemy's attributes, you should make an immediate note of it in there. Sounds pretty straightforward to me. He who controls the flow of information controls the tide of battle, right? That's exactly what I'm saying. You really got a good head on your shoulders, Joshua. That's some pretty useful advice. Thanks for the tip, Shara. We'll put it to good use. Alrighty then. Let's get pumped up and knocked up. Let's get pumped and knock out this test. Let's. Don't forget though, this is an exam. We should make sure we treat it as such. In the sewers. Alright. I'm gonna leave it there for today. I hope you all enjoyed this first episode. Or first part, I should say. Next time we'll be getting this test all done and seeing what comes afterwards. Thanks for watching. Bye.